Good morning and welcome to Off the Boulevard. I'm Keely McCormick.
And I'm Erica Schumann.
And we've got a show packed full for you guys today.
That's right, Keely. We have everything from sports to protests on the Wesco lawn.
And you can't forget about fashion.
I mean, I really don't see how anyone can, considering what you're wearing right now.
Yeah, I know it's a bold statement, but I think I'm rolling with it. I think it works.
No, I think you're killing it right now. And
Yeah.
it's kind of making me a little hungry, not going to lie, getting me excited for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I just love Thanksgiving so much. I need to be supportive of all the turkeys out there. I actually, I thought that they didn't give us a long enough break, so I'm going to extend my break a little bit and leave today.
I am so jealous. I wish I could be done with my classes, but the good news is I only have one class on Monday, so I don't really have to worry about it. But I'm also excited, though, because I'm going to have to be here then for the game on Saturday.
Oh, yeah. Make sure that everyone goes out tomorrow to support the boys' football team.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be our senior night. We take on Texas, so it'll be a fun game.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. I'm a little disappointed that I can't go. But
I know. It's our last chance, so everybody should get out and tailgate and have fun and just enjoy the game.
Yeah, well, we have a special guest after the break, so stay tuned.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Thank you and welcome. And we are here with Jonathan Peters, who's assistant professor here at the journalism school. And you have been doing a study with actually two other professors, Peter Bobkowski and Janelle, right? Thelmus. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and it's about shield laws for student journalists. So if you want to back up for us and tell why is that important for me and for everyone else here?
Sure. So the first thing I would mention is that a shield law is a legal rule that allows you as a journalist to refuse to testify about your confidential sources or information that you have collected in the pursuit of news. So if you are called to testify in court, you don't have to do that to reveal the identity of your sources. So we typically, when we think about shield laws, we think of their application to professional full-time employed journalists. But a big missing link in the analysis of shield protections has been whether they extend to student journalists as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, so, I was doing some research and read that you said that only 2 states have these laws for student journalists. So why do we think, other states haven't, or other journalism schools, is that, why aren't people implementing this?
Mm-hmm. It's hard to say. The study that we did not get to the why on that. It just got to the, what is the state of play out there? And what we found was that the vast majority of states will either explicitly or implicitly exclude journalists from student privilege or from journalist privilege protections. So when I say explicitly, they will make references to the covered people being full-time professionally employed journalists, which probably would exclude many students. Or they will include language that would be unfriendly to student journalists. It could be a reference to you earning a substantial portion of your annual livelihood from the doing of journalism, which unfortunately, many student journalists wouldn't qualify for.
Right. So, as you mentioned, there hasn't been really many cases of this. So do you think, why is this a popular thing for you, to look into?
I think it's critically important to think about this because student journalists are doing very important work today. If you look at the media economics of the last 15 to 20 years, you would see that there has been a gap created by the decline of traditional news organizations, namely newspapers. They have been chiefly responsible for decades for independent reporting that can also produce media law principles. So they tended to be the organizations that would bring FOIA litigation, that would try to open up meetings, that would challenge government requests to obtain their confidential sources. Student journalists, in light of the decline of traditional media, have stepped into the fray, and they are playing an important role in meeting their community's news needs. So I think that would indicate to me the importance of giving student journalists the protections that we have given already to the professional journalists.
Now, for student journalists just finding this out, do you, and we sort of laughed about this earlier, do we think that student journalists will continue to be ruthless and go and, get their story and the content that they need, or do you think that they're going to, demand that they get that protection?
I think that all signs point to yes. That student journalists, we give them too little credit generally. I think many of them do great work. If you look at, say, a traditional college town, the student news media that serve the campus also serve the town. People beyond the campus borders read and receive the news produced by those student journalists. So I think that qualitatively their work is important. And I think it's unfair for us to expect them to provide us news in a meaningful manner without giving them the protections they need to gather it and protect the sources who give them the information they can report on.
Now, sort of just kind of even play like a devil's advocate here, because obviously I want protection as a student journalist, but for people who aren't student journalists, how do they see that this is important? How can we get other people to believe that this is, an issue that needs to be talked about and, that it's pressing? I
think one of two ways. So one way would be traditionally, even though we call this a reporter's privilege or a journalist privilege, many of them extend to people who we wouldn't think of as journalists. They are researchers, they're book authors, they are bloggers and citizen journalists. So you yourself, even though you might not think of yourself as a journalist or a student journalist, you might be covered by one of these. So I think you could directly have an interest in it yourself. Now, putting that aside, let's say that you're not anybody who communicates with the public at large. Why should you care about this? I think you care about it to the extent that you care about having an informed democracy, of which the press is a major institution. And we can debate all day whether the press fulfills its mandate on a daily basis to be, a responsible, reliable, purveyor of facts and news and information. But I think if we treat the problem theoretical and constitutional democracy, these protections are important, whether or not you would benefit from them directly.
Right. Okay, well, thank you for coming on and telling us. And I guess one last thing, what could we look for in steps, for progression? Can we see what can students do or what can other people do to make sure that this becomes known and popular?
I think other than just talking about it, it would be as simple as calling your legislature, writing a letter to the editor, calling on your state General Assembly to take action here. That's what it would take. And then to the extent that you live in a state where these protections come not from statutes but from common law promulgated by courts, it would be to support judicial efforts to recognize student journalist privileges more widely than they are.
Right. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up?
I think I'm all set, but thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on. And right after this, we'll have the news segment.
I'm Erica Schumann, here with your news update. A new project for the City of Lawrence is scheduled to begin the summer of 2017. The city is planning to build a new sewage line on the KU campus. The pipeline will run from Ingold to Naismith along Crescent Road and will also cover the intersection of Naismith and Crescent. The city's motivation for the project is due to road safety, as they still are working to improve vehicle and pedestrian safety in Lawrence. On Tuesday, the City of Lawrence announced that they would take legal action against the developers of the Oriad Hotel. Located just 1.5 miles from the university's campus, the hotel is popular for students and visiting parents. Back in December, the city ordered an audit based on findings that the development group filed incorrect sales tax returns in order to receive sales tax rebates from the city. They're also citing personal purchases such as rent and landscaping for the developers and fake retail sales as ground to terminate multi-million-dollar incentives agreement with the Oriad. The City of Lawrence is demanding more than $500,000 from the Oriad and related parties. The development group has denied such allegations. KU has just announced that it will officially start transition for tobacco-free campus in fall of 2018. After years of planning, the tobacco-free initiative for KU is continuing its effort to keep word out and get people on board with advances. The university has planned multiple events throughout the week, including yesterday's gathering with the American Cancer Society's Great American Smokeout. Under the new policy, all tobacco use products like e-cigarettes will be banned from all parts of campus. An official announcement about the news rule isn't expected until fall of 2017. That's all we have for you for your news update. Please stay tuned.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Hello, welcome back. I'm Nick Brady, and this is the fashion segment to Off the Boulevard. As much as I did approve Keely's hat, I'm going to be talking about ugly Christmas sweaters. We all wear them one day out of the year, only time to wear them. And surprisingly, you can wear a not ugly Christmas sweater or a cooler one. You know, there's some definitely no's of ugly Christmas sweaters. Ones that I like are funny, really funny. Let's Get Elfed Up is a really funny one I found online. Looks really, you know, you could get funny, you could get fashionable. Ones that are really, really ugly are the ones with attachments. Like you don't have a grandma knitted reindeer on your sweater. I think that's just doing too much. And ones that are really, really ugly are too many colors. It's kind of like in between. My favorite are just the red and white ones. I think those are really cool and really good looking. And speaking of kind of ugly, the Yeezy Boost 350s, 3 colorways are dropping this weekend. They're black with an interesting stripe. I think they're cool. Fortunately, Yeezys are extremely hard to get a hold of. They're very limited and pricey. $200 actually. They're dropping next week, the day before Thanksgiving, in colors copper, red, and green. If you're not able to find these, there are different cool Adidas that you could buy. The runners are very popular, Ultra Boost. These shoes are extremely comfortable, so I would say it's worth the price if you want to spend 200 bills. But yeah, there's different versions. My favorite are the white ones that glow up kind of in the dark when taking a picture of. Very cool. They're really comfortable, very soft, and they're good for running also. They're fashionable and they're good for running if you want to work out looking cool. And you know, it's about to be winter, so boots, Yeezy makes boots too. These are actually $800. I would not recommend buying them, as you can find military boots for like 30 bucks, 40 bucks. I'm actually wearing a pair right now. Just as comfortable, just as fashionable, and they look cool. And speaking about military, how about that Indiana game? Kind of a bad loss, but then we went on to go beat Duke. The veteran jerseys were really cool. I loved them. They looked awesome. Even Indiana's are cool. I like the blue the most with the stars on the side and the text on the back. Super stylish. My roommate actually got one. I'm trying to buy it off him right now. Hopefully KU makes more like these, you know, special cool jerseys, and hopefully win tonight. All right, that's all for Brady Fashion.
Welcome back. And Keely, you actually had the chance to go out on KU's campus and go to Wesco Beach this week and talk to some people. What'd you find?
Yeah, I did. I actually went to do a segment on Thanksgiving, but I ran into a protest, so I decided to ask them a few questions about their beliefs. So let's take a look.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Keely McCormick here on Jayhawk Boulevard with Nathan. Now, Nathan, can you tell me what's going on here today?
Yeah, so I'm with an organization called Spectrum KU, and we're an LGBTQIA+ alliance group here on campus. And essentially what we're here doing is we're here to promote our visibility and show that even though our new president-elect doesn't support us and a lot of his supporters oppress us and show bigotry towards us, that we're not going to remain hidden. We're not going to be bullied into submissiveness. And we're really here just to show that everyone of various intersectionalities and identities are here to stand in in solidarity against all of those who oppress us.
Pretty much here today to just make sure that campus is safe for everyone that is LGBT or trans or any kind of intersecting identity. I just want them to know that we're still here and we're still queer, and just because Trump is president, like, we don't give a.
I'm protesting Donald Trump because he is aligned with the alt-right movement, which is racist, sexist, xenophobic, all these things.
We also have a couple signs talking about like immigration. So basically we're just trying to, after like the election, I feel like there's a lot of like fear from the LGBTQ community, and so we're just trying to be representative, create support, and just make sure that everyone's like aware that like we're here,
Christian, can you tell me why you're specifically out here today?
I'm an ally, and know a lot of the people out here representing and standing out here. It's really important for us, just not only as marginal identities, but queer bodies also, to show that we're not afraid and that we're not going to hide from all the harassment that's been happening on campus. We refuse to sit here and to be pushed back and for people to bully us, and I think that this was a great way to do it.
Your culture, you take away everything, you're still a person. And so if you're not fighting for other people, then don't expect nobody to fight for you.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Merrick. An interesting weekend and early week in sports for KU. Saturday, our football team, of course, went down to Iowa State in a game that we thought we had an opportunity to win. Both teams were 1-8 coming in, but we dropped it by 7, 31-24. What were your thoughts on the Iowa State game?
I thought we played well, but again, we came up short. I think we still have some leadership problems, but we looked like we competed, and it was at least a fun game to watch. So I'm looking forward to the Texas game coming up tomorrow. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. And then we also had on the same night, KU. Well, actually, that was last Friday on the show we discussed KU and Indiana, which took place in Honolulu, and unfortunately, overtime was not so generous to us, and the outcome wasn't the way we wanted it. 103-99, we dropped it to Indiana. What did you think about our team's performance?
I thought we played really well. Our offense played extremely well. I thought we had a drop off when we had Perry Ellis and Wayne Selden gone. I thought we were gonna have a drop off on offense, but we stuck in there. Our defense, though, however, that was a disappointment. But we got back on track with the Duke game. So
absolutely, yeah. And speaking of Duke, we were able to beat them before overtime came this time, 77-75. We actually have a clip. Frank Mason saved the day for us Tuesday night in New York City. Here it is for you. Frank at the buzzer. Beautiful right there. And of course, Duke had 1 point aim trying to hit this half-court shot. My heart drops right here.
Yeah,
I thought
no hesitation from Frank either. He knew he was going to shoot it right when he got the ball.
Absolutely, yeah. It was an unbelievable game. What's a KU game without stress? Obviously,
yeah, right.
It just wouldn't be a KU game otherwise. So we're actually going to do our first segment today called Buy or Sell, which we're going to discuss a few KU topics and whether you think these things are going to happen or not. So Nick Merrick, I got to ask you, buy or sell, my friend? KU will cover the spread tonight against Siena. The St. Bernards from upstate New York are here tonight. It's a 21-point spread. What do you think?
I think we do not cover that spread. I'm selling that. I think we're going to have a big win, but 21 points, third game of the season. I think we still have a lot of growing to do. It could be a trap game. Had two big games last week, so I think we're going to come out a little rusty, but I think we'll come out with the win. But 21's a little much.
I am going to buy that KU will cover the spread tonight against Siena.
All right.
I think that if you look at our first two games, our team's offense was phenomenal, and I think our defense will step up tonight. We have faced talented teams such as Indiana and Duke, and playing Siena tonight, I think we definitely cover the spread. Allen Fieldhouse is going to be rocking. It's the first home game of the regular season. I think our guys come out electric.
I hope so.
Buy or sell, Nick Merrick, KU football will win one of its remaining two games.
I'm going to...
This Saturday, 2:30 against Texas. and next Saturday at K-State. What do you think?
I am also going to sell that. I do not think we're going to get one of these wins. You know, I think it might be close this Saturday game, but I don't know. Going into K-State's tough environment, I don't think we're going to get that one, but I think we could expect some good games, so we'll see.
I'm also going to sell this one. I think Texas will be closer than people think this week. I think we'll lose by a touchdown. I think our offense comes out slightly hot, and we cool off as always. Maybe a few unfortunate.
But, hopefully we win. But
yeah, definitely
selling that.
And it'd be great to go to K-State and win. Here's to hoping. Yeah. Anyway, buy or sell, Nick Merrick. Frank Mason will be named an All-American by the end of the season.
I'm going to buy that actually. I think his first 2 games with 25 points in a 30-point game. I think. He's coming off really strong senior leadership. I think he's the best point guard in the country, so he's got to prove it this year. So, yeah, I'm buying that.
Absolutely. I am going to sell on Frank Mason becoming an All-American. I think Devontae Graham will take on a bigger role this year. I think teams will start queuing in on Frank Mason, trying to get the ball out of his hands. I think Josh Jackson will see a larger role. I'm going to sell on Frank Mason becoming an All-American, but he is going to be a huge asset to our team this season, as we've already seen in the first games. And last but not, am I reading this correctly? Buy or sell, Nick Merrick? Brady fashion items? Are we buying or selling?
He's a good friend of mine. I'm gonna have to buy it. I've already bought a couple things from him. I wear it all the time. I support Brady fashion, so shout out to Brady fashion out there.
Absolutely. I'm gonna buy 2. I have one of his shirts, 2 of his shirts actually. Incredibly comfortable. Just amazing style. People complimenting me left and right, which never happens on my style. So I'm definitely buying. And you guys should buy too. Brady Fashion.
Fall collection coming out.
Yeah.
Plugging them.
Practically here. So everyone tune into the game tonight, 7 p.m. against Siena. Let's cover that spread of 21. And Rock Chalk Jayhawk. We'll see you next week.
Well, that's all we have for you guys today. Thanks for tuning in.
We hope you have a great Thanksgiving and make sure you eat lots of turkey.
We'll see you back here in 2 weeks.